Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Are We Free movement. This is Jamal Barnes here, and we're here in 2016, and we have some issues. Many of us are probably thinking, wow, what in the world is happening all over the world? We just can't seem to bring ourselves together here. So, in this video, we're going to talk a bit about Uber. Now, the reason I'm going to talk about Uber is because, in case you all may not know what Uber is, it is a kind of a taxi company, and what they do is they offer people rides for money, right? You know, you book your taxi cab through an app, be it your iPhone, your Android, or your BlackBerry device. Actually, your BlackBerry device, or whatever cell phone device that supports the Uber app. And you can get a ride that way. It's kind of similar to Hacks, kind of. If in most areas, that's what they call them. It can be called Hacks, but Uber is a lot cheaper than the regular taxi cab service. But anyway, the reason I'm talking about Uber tonight, and you're probably thinking, where is he going with this? Well, apparently on New Year's Eve, there were a lot of people who were very upset and furious that they had to pay a couple $100s in surge pricing for a 15-minute ride to get home. So now you have a lot of people ready to sue Uber, saying that Uber ripped them off, saying that Uber's nothing but a scam, saying that Uber's nothing but a fraud, and all this other sorts of stuff. Okay? Now, I don't know if people are aware, but when you book an Uber ride, sometimes there's going to be a thing called surge pricing, and Uber has stated that the surge pricing is to make sure there's always enough drivers on the road to pick up people. So what you have here is you have a lot of people who didn't seem to like the surge pricing. They may have been drunk or what have you. But anyways, New Year's Eve, there's going to be a lot of people hitting the clubs. In fact, I was in Washington, D.C. So I know a lot of the Uber rides were backed up New Year's Eve. I was checking out the Uber app that night, and there was just a lot of things going on. Uber was very busy. But for people to say, well, Uber shouldn't be doing surge pricing, to me, it's ludicrous. Okay? Uber has every right to charge surge pricing because people sign up for it before they take the ride. Before you take the ride, it'll come up with surge pricing, and it'll say the pricing per mile and so on and so forth. And you agree to the ride before you take it. So because you agreed to the ride before you take it, therefore, Uber has every right to charge the surge pricing. Now, is it fair? Does it seem fair? No. Does it seem like a racket? It may. But again, we can't just sit here and say, well, Uber is in the wrong here. Uber's actually in the right here. And in my opinion, they are in the right because they specifically showcased it for the surge pricing. It shows up. It'll show up before you even take the ride. So a lot of these people, either they might have been wasted. I don't know if they were wasted, drunk out of their mind, or whatever. But that's not the point. The point here is, when you agree to something, whether it's a contract, this is what I always tell people. Please read the license agreement and everything you sign. This is what happens when people don't read the license agreement, or they don't actually read the little stipulation of in this case, the surge pricing before they take the ride. And so, Uber's in the right here, and a lot of people are upset about it. They see it as a scam. I don't see it as necessarily as a scam. What I see it as is Uber running its company. Sometimes we have to, if we just let the free market decide the issue, I would say that Uber would be in the right here. And I still feel that way. These people who decided to purchase a ride and feel like they got ripped off, and some of them saying, well, do we want to take Uber again? And you know what? As a libertarian, I feel that that's the beauty of the free market. You can choose what you want. If you don't like a product, you don't have to purchase it. You are not required to purchase it. Nobody forced you to take the Uber ride. Why are we making a big fuss over a New Year's Eve thing where a lot of people were out of their mind, probably drunk or whatever, or high or what have you? Why are we making it a big issue for when Uber is just doing their job? So because Uber does its job, we want to sit here and make lawsuits? And by the way, there's just too many ridiculous lawsuits. You mean to tell me we're going to make a ridiculous lawsuit over some surge pricing? That's just ridiculous. Now, sure, you may argue, well, the pricing was $250 for 15 minutes. That's very extreme. Taxi cabs don't even charge that kind of money. Well, okay, but who specifically forced anybody forced you to go to the Uber app and go to it? You know, this is the problem. We have our society. To me, it just feels like we feel so entitled to every little thing. We're entitled to whatever pricing we want, not what the free market wants. So if it's sure if Uber decided, well, you know what, we're gonna increase the surge pricing to $500. Well, okay, and if people don't like those prices, then they don't have to go with Uber. They can go with something called Lyft or some other competitor. They don't have to necessarily go with Uber. Nobody's forcing a gun to your head and say, well, you better go to Uber or we're going to have a problem. You know, that's not how our society is. You know, this is not government mandated or government run. This is a free market franchise. So all those folks who are over there saying, well, we don't like surge pricing, well, you need to read. How about read before you get the ride? So, here's my question to you guys. What do you all believe of the Uber thing? Do you believe that Uber's in the right here or in the wrong regarding the surge pricing? Do you all feel that Uber is a scam? Or do you believe it's a legitimate business practice? Feel free to comment in the comment section below. Like us on Facebook, the Are We Free Movement Facebook. And please subscribe to our YouTube channel. To the Are We Free Movement's YouTube channel. So, there's 2 more videos that we're going to make tonight. And I just want for you all to check those out. We got a lot of, like I said, there's a lot of content this week. But in the next video, I'm going to talk a bit about Saudi Arabia versus Iran. And this is something for the overseas. I know most people in the U.S. are like, well, the Saudis and the Iranians, they've always been fighting. Why should we care? Well, I think we should. Because it actually is a global issue. And what I'm trying to say is we're so divided to the point, if we're so divided over an Uber fare, you know our society's divided. So, we're going to talk a bit about the Saudis. And I'm also going to talk a bit about the Redskins and the crony capitalism that I've seen out of the Redskins today. So, thank you all very much, and have a wonderful evening. Enjoy.